This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of May 13th, 2024. We are in peak Taurus season this week. Peak Taurus time, peak Taurus influence. By the middle of the week, the bulk of the sky is going to be in the most earthbound, sensual influence in the zodiac. The seeds and goals and intentions of last week's Taurus new moon are starting to sink their little roots down into the ground. And now we hit the point, physically and metaphorically, of breaking through the shells of the seeds, breaking through our casings, and opening ourselves to blossom even more, perhaps in ways we haven't allowed ourselves yet. This week, the Sun and Venus both meet with Uranus, the quick change artist, the cosmic agent of unpredictable, volatile change, liberation, awakening, epiphanies. It's like a cartoon from the 30s and 40s when a character starts swelling and his buttons pop off his shirt. In this instance, though, the expanding portion comes after the freeing portion because the Sun this week and then next week, Venus, meet up with the guy that's going to make them swell and grow, Jupiter. You may look at yourself differently this week. You may have circumstances open up for you to express more of who you really are. You may have limitations flying open, unlocking. You may cast them off yourself. Breakthroughs in relationships. Venus rules that. Breakthroughs in money, financial twists, turns, plot developments, monkey wrenches flying in, and all ultimately opening us to more flourishing, something that is fundamentally more expansive for us and actually really involving how we physically experience our lives, our realities, and particularly how comfortable they are. Not everything that pushes us to this is, of course, comfortable. We do have a nudge or two, some things we maybe don't want to think about, maybe make us a little bit woozy, particularly on the 13th and 14th. It behooves us to pay attention to those little irritants, the little bits of friction, and deal with them. And also, paradoxically, at the moment that we have personal breakthrough, personal awakening, personal liberation, we also have the possibility to lock it in, to stabilize ourselves, to stabilize our situations, our relationships, our bank accounts. As the Sun is meeting with Uranus, Venus is in a sextile or opportunity aspect with Saturn. So you're not going to find your life blowing up if something about you suddenly opens. And your thinking and our conversations and our information flow are all only going to focus more and more on what is happening here in physical reality, the state of our resources, what things cost, what we have, how we experience life in our bodies. And this is from Mercury, communication god, entering the sign of Taurus on the 15th, at which point we have a maximum Taurus party. Now, Mercury is not entirely comfortable in this sign because Mercury does best when it can move here and there and dart around and be really fleet-footed and free-flowing, and Taurus is step by step, slow, sometimes staying in place for a while because it wants to sit and think about things or perhaps chew things over or maybe have a little snack. Taurus doesn't rush. Mercury in Taurus does not rush. It takes its time and it looks at what is here right now. As soon as Mercury makes this shift, its first contact is with the future, though. So Mercury enters Taurus on the 15th, and on the 17th, it has a challenge to Pluto in Aquarius. This will affect the working of technology. It will possibly require that you upgrade your technology, that you stop thinking about certain things, that you cut certain ways of thinking, certain topics out of your life, that you talk with your collectives, with your communities, with your friends about really practical matters, that you at least think about where things are going in the future. So while Taurus wants to be right here and now, Pluto in Aquarius is bringing in and forcing in a factor that is extraordinarily futuristic. Less is more, perhaps. And right after Mercury makes this move and has this clarifying moment, and it could be just talking to people about how much something costs and what you need out of situations. After this happens, Venus meets Uranus and the Sun meets Jupiter on the 18th, and it's a strong, vibrant, noticeable explosion of I want, I deserve, I'm going to get, fill in the blank. All kinds of bubblegum songs from the 60s seem to fit this. And the week sails off into a moment of experiencing something perhaps a bit magical, perhaps a bit artistic, perhaps feeling that there is something flowing into life, into your life through you that is bigger than you. The possibility of connecting to inspiration and artistry and a communal event, perhaps, that brings a sense of heaven on earth, with the sun in an opportunity aspect to Neptune, which is hanging out at the end of Pisces, at the end of the zodiac. A lot of worldly focus this week, a lot of earthly focus this week, a lot of possibilities and new opportunity and feeling breathing room and, oh, I can expand, and ending with a moment of, this is worth it. Homing thought of the week, savor the moment. Song of the week, really, really, really old, and Suddenly by the Cherry People. And the image of the week is changing from a tight costume and tight shoes to very comfy relaxation clothes. You'll learn more about this in my forecast for the month of May, which is up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and get a quick reference guide to Jupiter in Gemini as a thank you, and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years experience. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I also host lots of conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Instagram and Threads at K.A. Biehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.